Okay, so what I'm going to do is just kind of run through the different tools that you can use to add some design elements to your poster. So over here on the left, you'll see this black toolbar. These are all the different options that you can kind of mess around with. So I'm just going to run through them real quick and show you kind of a basic understanding of how to use them. The first one on there is templates. So these are already pre-made posters. Most of you, I'm assuming, won't really find many of these helpful, but if there was one that you liked, even just like the layout of the design, you could click on one, it'll add it to your poster, and then even from there, obviously, this doesn't apply to our project, but you could edit and change things so that it fits whatever you're looking for. The next one that I am going to run through is uploads. So this is the tool that you're going to use to add images from Google to your project. So the first thing you're going to need to do is actually upload or download a picture from the internet to your computer. So I'm going to go into Google. I'm searching for an image. I put in petroleum oil container. So for example, say I really liked this image here. I would right click, save image as, and this is going to save it to your desktop, or you can change kind of wherever you want it to save. I just find desktop to be the easiest. I renamed it just so it's easier for me to find, and I would click save. This will automatically save that to your computer. In Canva, then, what you need to do is upload the image. So to do that, you're going to click this blue upload an image or video button. You're going to click device, because that's where you're uploading it from. And then you just need to find the picture, and then you will hit open. It will automatically upload it into Canva for you. It'll download it, so it might take a second. And then when you want to add a picture to your poster, all you need to do is literally just drag the image onto your poster, and from there you can kind of mess around with it, you can resize it, etc. The next tool down is photos. So Canva already has a lot of uploaded photos that you can already pull from. So for example, say I wanted to even search for petroleum on here, like you can see there's already a lot of options that I can even just use within Canva. One thing to be aware of is that not all of the features that they offer are free. So the best way to kind of determine whether or not it's free is to kind of just hover over it. It should say free in the right-hand corner, like this image. However, if we look at this one here, when I hover over it, it has a little crown symbol and it says Pro. That means it's going to cost money. It will let you add it into your poster. However, when you do that, it'll have those watermarks right there that say Canva. So it won't actually look that beautiful. So make sure you're using free options. Elements are also great. So there's a lot of different things in here that you can kind of mess around with. There are lines. So if you wanted to just kind of add a line onto your poster, those are great. Different shapes. And even with the shape, you can kind of mess around with where you want to position it. And even up here, you can kind of mess around with the transparency of it. Okay, so you can kind of put text underneath it or whatever. It's kind of adds some design elements to your poster. So there's different shape options. The frames are really cool. They, for example, let's say I liked this frame. What they are is just kind of a different shape to a photo. So then once you have a frame, you could either upload a picture from the internet or choose a photo in Canva and you drag it into the frame. And what it does is it just kind of puts that image into that frame. Okay, so that's kind of cool. You can resize and whatever else you need to do. You can also change the transparency of the photo as well. Some other elements, they have stickers. You could do photo grids, which are cool. So these add, so for example, say I liked this grid. You can resize them, and essentially they are the same thing as frames. However, it's just a grid of photos instead. So again, if I liked certain images, I could create kind of a grid of photos then on my poster like that. And again, you just drag and drop. There's always the search option at the top. So in case you wanted to search for a specific element, like I search petroleum, again, here's some cool images already in Canva that you can pull from. Okay, so Canva has a lot of great things already in here in case you just didn't want to even bother with uploading things from Google. Second to last thing I'm going to show you is the text. So there's a lot of different options in here. At the very top is kind of some basic text boxes. So for example, here's a heading option. Okay, you can resize, you can kind of reposition it by dragging it around. So there's subheadings and then even smaller bodies of text. Okay, so even once you add a text option to your poster, you can obviously up here on the top, you can change the font. Okay, you can change the size. You can change the color of the text. So there's options in here, or you can choose your own by kind of messing around with the color wheel here. And then you can bold, italicize, change the positioning and alignment. You could add bullets. There's different effects you can add to your text. So feel free to mess around with all these different features. And then the last thing in text that I want to show you is they already have some pre-generated, like pretty cool effect text options. Obviously, they already say things, but like, for example, if I liked that, just the view of that text style, I can then change what it says to kind of fit whatever I want to say on my poster. Okay, so there's a lot of different options in there. The last tool I'm going to show you is background. So if you want to change the color of your background, that's totally fine. You could do solid colors. Up here, they have a lot of cool, just already printed images that you could add as your background. So feel free to check those out. One other thing I would like to show you is just be aware. Obviously, this is like if this poster were to be printed, it'd be pretty large. So sometimes, like when you're working, it might even be helpful to zoom in on specific areas of your poster so that you can see it better. So that you can fit all the different text. Because, like for example, the size of this font is 232. That's pretty large. So, for example, if it was printed, it would take over a lot of the poster. So I know when you would, for example, like if I was to change this to 48, it changes the text to be really small, but when you print it, it doesn't actually look that small. So you can totally zoom in using this tool down here in the bottom right-hand corner that has the percent sign. So for example, say I zoomed in like 75 or even less, 50%, I can kind of move and see specific areas of my poster as I'm working. I would highly suggest to really mess around with all the different features to get the best design that you can possibly create for this assignment.